Yes, that's a good girl. We're going to get to what we came to do, which was just a little off-leash preparation for the future. It's off me. Off. Good. Beautiful. We're going to give her a chance to be brave and work through this interaction with Sparty and get straight into the content. But appreciate you guys tapping in. Yeah, dude, it's just most people have dogs that never been off leash before, and I really want to prep my clients. This video I'm producing basically for my clients so that they can look back on this and have some shit to fall back on. I like to do a lot of long form stuff for them like this. And I know some of you guys probably sitting there thinking, oh man, this guy's a professional dog trainer. He certainly doesn't really look too professional. Shirt off, sun's out, guns out. Good girl. But I kind of march to the beat of my own drum out here. I think I've earned the right to do that. And for me, the people that are going to judge me based on how I look and not the type of work that I do aren't really the type of people I really want to work for anyway. So, I'm personally more along the lines of I just want if I'm hiring somebody, I'm not really overly concerned with how they look. I'm probably a little bit more concerned with how good of a job they do. And I like to think that we do a pretty damn good job. So those are the people that I'm trying to attract by just being myself and being authentic. And I'm not too worried about, the consequences that come with just being yourself. Good girl. But back to the point is, people never take their dogs off leash. They never take their dogs off leash, and somewhere down the line they want to take their dogs off leash, but now they're just never gonna ever be able to trust them off leash because the dog doesn't really know what it's like to be off leash, man. They've been on leash their entire life, and you're thinking you're gonna be able to get them back the first time you take them off the leash. That's not gonna be the case for you because it's now become a commodity to be off the leash. But here at the TFE Ranch, we have an opportunity to sort of safely simulate the off-leash experience because we have so much space. Yes. And this is where foundation will be set for this type of thing, where we could safely do this and also do it in sort of a context of not too much overstimulation and competing motivators involved. So setting a foundation always revolves around doing it with the least amount of distraction possible. So that's what the foundation is. You can't teach a foundation if you just throw them to the wolves too quickly. So that's why we have this very unique opportunity to work on that here. So when I was watching this video before I posted it, I just wanted to add this little disclaimer in there. If you have an adult dog and your dog doesn't have any off-leash recall, you should never have them off-leash in any public setting at all. That requires having a long line and a little bit of a different process. Betty's a puppy, and then we're going through the process of which that we can go through with a puppy a little bit more safely and effectively. So if you have an adult dog and they have zero off-leash reliability, they shouldn't be off-leash in public. I just want to make that disclaimer. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of the time we'll eventually incorporate remote collar technology for that. This is maybe something that I'll do a digital product on, very specific. But it's still a little bit iffy to do that digitally because it's always best for me to teach dogs e-collar stuff in real life because all these dogs are different and they handle pressure differently, so it's very specific to the dog individually. But I still think we might be able to put something out there to get people going in the right direction. But nonetheless, that's just the disclaimer I wanted to make. Safety before everything. Being off leash is a privilege; it's not a right, right? So you can't just let your wild child off the leash. Going to cause all kinds of problems, and safety isn't really at the forefront if you're doing some shit like that, and that's what we really take precedence over everything around here at TFE TV. So thank you for watching. But you could find spaces like this, Adam. You could find a space like this, an enclosed park, an enclosed baseball field, where you could just take her and put her off leash, and you don't really have to worry about too much. But the whole point of emphasis is to just roll together. She's learning not to jump on me. She's jumping away from me now.
Yeah, she can't help but jump. But
yeah, it's just a lot of excitement. But because there's been a consequence for her jumping on me, she's now just kind of jumping out there, which, okay, that's a step in the right direction. But just intermittently, the point of emphasis is letting her be off leash, letting her enjoy, letting her party. And then if you just so happen to get her back, If she voluntarily comes back, you're just cruising. If I had a cameraman, we would be walking around the whole property because,
You want me to carry it?
I mean, if you want. Hey, Betty. Yes, good girl. So cool. Keep it right there for a sec. Yes. We're marking yes and rewarding the act of going from over there to over here. And then we're just going to go ahead and cruise this way. We just keep cruising. And so when I take my dogs out to a place and we're off leash, my main point of emphasis, first and foremost, obviously I'm thinking about safety and that sort of thing. But I want to have a good time with them, and I want to give them the opportunity to explore, to use their nose, to enjoy their life. But at the same time, it's not just like isolated to that. Like, I want to intermittently work on something and to continue setting forth this foundation of recall. And it's just about producing the pattern of going from over there to over here. And when she comes near you, you give her a piece of food. Or if your dog particularly likes to play a game or whatever, if there's always a reward system in place for when they come back to you, this is suggesting that the dog is, yes, this is suggesting that the dog is going to have a really good positive association to you. So every time they come back to you, there's something in it for them. And if you sort of think about dogs in the way that I think about them as being like very self-serving animals, this is just doing nothing but practicing the art of counter manipulation. I know she's going to want to go do all that other shit, but I also know that if I show her that there's something really lovely in it for her, she's going to want to voluntarily be around me, again, off of the leash. Does that make sense? And I personally think that we're in a very unique situation with her as she's so young. I think we're also dealing with this like puppy pack drive that they have. You know, she's not the most confident dog yet. She doesn't have the most experience yet. And so we're taking advantage of that. A lot of people always say, oh, well, I want to wait. Yes, that's great right there. I want to wait to train my dog. Well, you're missing out on the most influential time of the dog's life to teach them by waiting. So whenever somebody asks me, when's the best time to train a dog? You know, my typical response will be yesterday, regardless of the age. You know, the day you bring the damn dog home, the little puppy, you could be doing stuff at 8 weeks old. Make no mistake about it. What's that?
Start walking. I just can't see like when it's shooting from this side, unfortunately, but hopefully it's on you.
It's all right. Yeah, you're doing good. So this is it, dude. We just cruise. We let her do her thing. Betty, yes. We'll say her name, pay her, go back to partying. That's it. This is just, I think I've already said everything I need to say about this. Good girl. Just giving her the feeling of being off leash in a big open space and rewarding her a lot for every time she comes back to you voluntarily. Very basic, very simple. And now we're, you know, this is sort of good. Sort of like a different side of training here is, you know, Spartan doing his thing and teaching and doing what he can do that we can't do. You know.
Just note that she doesn't really want to interact, so.
Yeah, she's a little uncertain, a little skeptical, but Spartan's not going to push her too far.
That's a good boy.
So you see the curiosity in her going back to him. That's a sign of growth. That's a sign of good things, you know, because she was good. See, there's a part of this, guys, where we want to give the dog the opportunity to be brave, but I don't suggest doing this unless you have a profound knowledge of the dogs in question. The only reason why we're letting her do this with Spartan is because we know him very well and we know that he's not going to do anything to traumatize her. He's going to be very understanding and sort of address the situation for what it is. So that's it. It's knowledge of that, and that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. You know, we've been working on this. Scale that thing up here. We've been working on this. We've been working on this chassis for quite some time. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that. If you've enjoyed nothing else. It really helps me a lot if you leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel. This is day 3 in a row with a video. I'm gonna actually give it a run and just post whatever I'm doing at the time for you guys. If there's anything specific you want to see or whatever, or if you're curious about my style or curious about anything dog training related, this is what we do. We're fully immersed in it. This is the sacrifice that I've made. I'm still grinding shit out every single day. And that's probably why a lot of the time I don't, we're recording, right? That's probably why I don't always feel so inclined to bust out the camera and to produce content, because I'm already busy doing so much other stuff. So this is just adding in another thing that I have to do, and sometimes it gets a little bit exhausting just thinking about the content side of things. So if you appreciate that, subscribe to the channel, like the video, tell a friend. This is what we do. We're in California, sweltering, ungodly, unforgiving heat, day in and day out. Hopefully that goes away soon, so it's not so miserable out here. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. And thank you to my camera lady. Appreciate you recording my shit.